Om Vakratunda Mahakaya
Mahakaya
Surya Koti
Suryakoti
Samaprabha
Samaprabha
Nirvignam
Nirvignam Kuru
Kurume
Me Deva
Deva
Sarvakaryeshu
Sarvakaryeshu
Sarvada
Sarvada
Sarasvati
Saraswati
Namastubhyam
Namastabhyam
Varade
Varade
Kamarupini
Kamarupini
Vidyarambam
Vidyarambam
Karishyami
Karishyami
Siddhir Bhavatu
Siddhir
Me
Me
Sada
Sada
Guru
Gurur
Brahma
Brahma
Guru
Gurur
Vishnu
Vishnu
Guru
Gurur
Deva
Devo
Maheshwaraha
Maheshwaraha
Guru
Guru
Sakshat
Sakshat
Param
Param
Brahma
Brahma Tasmai
Tasmai Shri
Shri
Gurave
Gurave
Namaha.
Namaha
Om
Om
Sahana
Sahana
Vavatu
Bhavatu
Sahano
Sahana
Bhunaktu
Bhunaktu
Sahaviryam
Saviryam
Karavavahi
Garavavahi
Tejasvinavadhetamastu ma
Tasvinavadhetamastavavit
Vidvishavahe.
Vishavahe
Om
Om
Shanti
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 Shanti.
Shanti Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha
Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha.
Atha Chaturthodhyayah
अथ चतुर्थोऽध्यायः
Shri Bhagavanuvacha
श्रीभगवानुवाच
from the shloka number 32. Sorry. So we have seen different types of yajnas, the disciplines meant for antakarana shuddhi. Now summarizing the next shloka, shloka number 32. Krishna then concludes this section, that is the topic of yajna. It started from 25 to 31. Let us read. Evam bhagavidha yajnaha
एवं बहुविधा यज्ञाः
vitata brahmano mukhe
वितथा ब्रह्मणो मुखे
कर्मजान् विद्धितान् सर्वान्
कर्मजां विद्धितान् सर्वान्
एवं ज्ञात्वा विमोक्ष्यसे.
एवं ज्ञात्वा विमोक्ष्यसे.
Evam, in this manner, Bhagavadah, different yajnas are scattered in the Veda. Mukhe, Mukhe means the words in the Veda. The face, in the Mukha, in the words, in the Veda. The words of the Veda, all these yajnas, various disciplines, which are many, Bhagavadah, Vidataha, they are mentioned, they are scattered. They're scattered, they are mentioned in the Vedas. May you know that all these are born of karma, karmajan. Tan sarvan yajnan karmajan viddhi, knowing which you become free, moksha se. Knowing how karma, this being yajna to be followed. Then antakarna shuddhi, then jnanam, then you become free from samsara, you get moksha. In this manner, many and varied yajnas, bhagavidaha, different yajnas, various types of yajnas, are very elaborately mentioned. Vidataha, tanu means it's from the tataha, tanda, to spread. Vidataha, it is, which are spread means which are taught, which are mentioned in the Brahmano Mukhe, Brahma meaning Veda, Brahmano Mukhe, in the mouth. That is, mouth is the Vagin, it is a Karmendriya for Bhashanam, for speech. Therefore, in the words of the Veda, understand them to be born of karma. Evam Yata, knowing this, you will become free, you will be liberated. Here, Bhagavan Krishna sums up this section on the various religious disciplines, all of which are karma. In karma, he had said that wise person only sees a karma. Karmanyat karmayaf pashyet. Then he talked about rituals and other forms of yajna, about 12 types of yajna, in order to present the knowledge that Atma, the self, is akarta, a non-doer. He also mentioned that these disciplines are useful in the form of disciplines themselves, in addition to bringing about antakarana shuddhi. At the same time, what is ultimately gained through all of them is knowledge of the Atma as akarta, as Brahma, knowing which vimokshase, a person becomes free from samsara. The word Brahma in the shloka, the present verse, refers to the Veda, in whose pages are the words. Various types of yajnas, religious practices already discussed, are very elaborately detailed, vidataha. Now, Bhagavan says, understand all these religious disciplines to be born of karma. Tan sarvan karmajan, karmana jayate karmajan, karmana jayate iti karmajaha, tan karmajan, vidhi, may you know them to be born of karma. Whether they are physical actions, kaika karmas, or vachika karma, or manasika karma, oral or mental or physical actions, they're all born of a certain activity and the part of the doer. So karta is implied. Karma meaning karta is there. Karma cannot be possible without the karta. So karta is there, therefore all these disciplines. For this reason, they are called karmajaha, born of karmas. Born of these threefold karmas, therefore, because it is karmana jayate, therefore anitya. They are only anatma. So they are anatma, they are not atma. Karma is born of, karma is, yajnas are born of karma. Karma implies karta. Therefore, karta is, atma is not the karta. Then who is the karta? This is agankara. Therefore, anatma. All these karmas are anatma. They are anityaha, born of this threefold karma, this yajnaha, karmajan, born of karma. They are anityaha eva. Can atma be a doer? And who is a doer? The karta here. The disciplines are karmajas. The yajnas are called karmajaha, born of karma. Born of karma, not atmaja, not born of atma. Atmaja is atmana jayate. It is not born of atma. Therefore, atma is since not the karta, therefore they are not born of atma. They are born out of karanas, instruments alone, born of antakarana, the mind, vagindriya, organ of speech, and karmendriya, the organs of action. These yajnas are born of karma done by either born because of the karana, the instruments are employed, and antakaranam and vagindriya, organ of speech, and karmendriya, all the organs of action, they are involved. So therefore, these yajnas are born of the other karakas, other instruments, karanendriyas. All are karana, all are the means of performing karma. Therefore, they are either born purely of the mind or with the help of the senses and organs of action. Either this manas and karma are born out of the organs of action. Therefore, the karta can be only the body mind sense complex. This karya karana sangata alone is a karta. Atma cannot be the karta. This verse is an interesting one. It has confused a lot of people, as we see some of the interpretations, English translations, and commentaries that have been written on it. Having said that the religious disciplines are presented in the Veda, and that they are all born of action, Krishna then says, knowing this, you will be liberated. So knowing the karma, you will be liberated. That is a meaning, literal meaning some take, and therefore this is a confusing verse for some people. How you get moksha? By knowing this. Karmajan Vidhi. Knowing that it is born of karma, you will become liberated. You have to connect. Without connection, this shloka will be misinterpreted and therefore causes confusion. How can this be? How can you be liberated? By understanding that these karmas are born of various activities performed by the physical limbs, organs of speech, or the mind. The point to be clearly understood here is that these disciplines are not born of Atma. One has to go back to the statement, karmani akarmeha pashyet. So in the karma, one who sees akarma, Atma is akartru Atma, akarmeha pashyet, 18th shloka. And remember that Krishna is summing up here. To make this point clear, Shankaracharya glosses the karmajan as anatmajan. Karma is born of anatma, not born of atma. Atma not being karta, therefore karma cannot be born of atma. It is anatmajan. And says that understand that all of these are born of anatma. Tan sarvan anatmajan viddhi. They are the products of anatma. Physical body, deha is anatma. And the mind, antarindriya, antakaranam, and all the indriyas, organs of perception and organs of action, jnanendriya, karmendriya, which include organ of speech, all these are anatma eva. Karya karana sangata. That is why Shankaracharya uses the word anatmajan. Karmajan means anatmajan, born of anatma alone. All the karmas are born of anatma eva. Anatma eva karma karoti, natu atma. They are all anatma because they are karmas, objects for you, the atma. The physical body is not the karta. It is only karma, being itself an object. Karma is an object for the subject, the atma. And the subject atma is not subject to objectification. So being a karma, physical body is anatma. Physical body cannot be the karta. Physical body is not the karta, it is only karma. Karma meaning it's an object. It's an object for the subject atma. Physical body is available for objectification. That which is available for objectification is anatma. It is not atma. Physical body is anatma. It is an object, not a subject. The discipline is born out of the physical body, organ of speech and mind, all of which are objects, anatma eva. For you, for whom? For you, the atma, the subject. Therefore, karmajan, anatmajan, and Shankaracharya makes it very clear that this fact is to be well understood. Once you understand that these disciplines are born of anatma, not out of atma, you know that atma is a karta, free from any type of activity, nirvyapara, free from any action. So that which is born of anatma, that which is born of karma is anatma. Or anatma ya karma karoti, natu atma. So anatmajan, born of karmajan, born of anatmajan, not out of atma. Because atma is a karta, free from any activity, nirvyapara. We need only to see that these disciplines are born of anatma. These disciplines are born of karma, karma meaning anatma, therefore karmajan is anatmajan, therefore these disciplines are born of anatma. For it to become evident that these are not born of atma. All these karmas elaborately detailed in the pages of the Veda, some of which are mentioned here, are anatmajas, born of anatma alone. They are born of karya karana sangata, body, mind, sense, complex. Since they are the anatmajas, we understand that atma is not the karta. This vision is called karmani akarma darshanam, seeing akarma even when karma is performed. So karmani akarma darshanam, when the doer is negated, the action and its result are also negated. We have seen earlier in this chapter how even as one performs karma, the karta is negated. Everything being Brahma, Brahmarpanam, Brahmavihi, Brahmagno, Brahmanahutam. The other karakas, karma, karana, sampradana, padana, adhikarana, all the karakas. The karaka, object of action, means of action, purpose of action, from whence the action comes, or the location in which the action takes place, all are nullified along with the karta. It's called karaka upamardhanam. Even though the karakas are seemingly there, the reality is nullified by negating the contention that there are differences between them and Brahma. This negation is called sublation. sublating the reality of division as such. Therefore, as seeing that there is no division whatsoever. Knowing Atma as Akarta, knowing that the Karyakarana Sangata to be the doer, knowing the doer is Atma, but Atma is not the doer, one is liberated from all karma and karma pala. So Atma is Akarta and Karyakarana Sangata, this body mind sense complex, that is Anatma, and Ahankara is it. Therefore, there is a sense of doership. So they enjoy the doership. Knowing that the Atma is, knowing that the doer is Atma, not the Atma is the doer, one becomes free from karma and karma pala. That is samsara. Ashubha means that which is not auspicious. Ashubha. Previously I also said, Ashubhat vimokshase. Yajnatva mokshase shubhat. Ashubhat mokshase. Therefore, here, Shankaracharya says in his commentary on this shloka, you are liberated from Ashubhat mokshase, from inauspiciousness. That is karma, karma pala, limitation. Karma implies limitation and karma pala implies limitation. Therefore, it's free from inauspiciousness, karma pala, which includes punya papa. Ashubhat, karma palat, vimokshase. The liberation from bondage. How? Through knowledge. This liberation can be expressed in terms of release from samsara. You are released from the bondage of samsara, which is due to ignorance and Atma being, ignorance about Atma being a karta. The moment you take Atma, the self, to be karta, samsara is born and you become a samsari. Knowledge of Atma is, as akarta is a clear vision, samyak darshanam of Atma as it is. Knowing this, you will be freed from karmas and karma palas, which is what samsara is all about. So karma and karma pala, they comprise samsara, and it is only for the anatma. Therefore, knowing that this anatma, the sharimana sangata is atma, but atma is not, you become free from samsara. Karma pala is that which counts for a given birth, janma, during which that is again karma, therefore more karma pala accrue to you, which results in yet another birth. Therefore, it is a cycle. The cycle continues until you come out of its orbit by knowing that you are not the doer. Therefore, viveka is implied. Atma and Atma viveka. Anatma cannot remain without karma, and Atma can never do karma. Since they are karmajan with thee, therefore they are anatmajan, born of anatma. Because it is anatma, that is not the swarupa of Atma. Atma swarupa is agam Atma, it is always akarta eva. In the presence of Atma, Anatma performs karma. Because of the performance, because of the karma of Anatma, Atma seems to be doing karma. It is a superimposition by desuperimposition, understanding that Atma is ever akarta, and Anatma which performs karma is anitya and mitya. Knowing that one becomes free from karma. Knowing that aham atma, one becomes free from this ashubhat, samsarat, vimokshase. So knowledge of Atma as akarta is a clear vision, samyak darshanam of Atma as it is. Knowing this, you will be free from all karmas and karma palas, which is what samsara is all about. Karma pala is what accounts for a given birth janma, during which there is again karma and more karma pala accrued to you, which results in yet another janma. The cycle continues until you come out of its orbit by knowing that you are not the doer. As Shankaracharya puts in the last line of this commentary, you know that all the activities that you perform are not your activities. Then whose activities? Atma cannot do karni karma. You know that you are nirvyapara. You as Atma is nirvyapara, free from all activities. Therefore, you perform no action whatsoever. Then who performs action? Anatma, Anatmajan. Knowledge that I am not the doer doesn't imply indifference. Doesn't imply disassociation also. Knowing that you are nirvyapara doesn't mean that you are indifferent to everything or that you don't exert yourself. Because sometimes of the word nirvyapara is understood. That I am devoid of activities. Aham Atma Akarta is a fact. Whereas To not exert myself is a condition of laziness. That's different. Laziness for the Sharira, Atma, not for Anatma, not for the Atma. So one may become lazy by saying Agam Atma Karta by saying that not performing karma. If it is born of jnana, then one will not take to inaction. In spite of action, Agam Akarta eva. But some people they interpret and take it to their advantage because of the laziness. So Agam Atma Karta, therefore don't do any activity. Atma, even if you do, Atma doesn't do. Only the Shariram does. Therefore, not doing just the physical action, one may develop laziness. Therefore, when we say Atma is Akarta Nirvyapara, Agam Atma Akarta doesn't do any karma is a fact. Whereas not to exert myself, not to work, not to perform action, that's a condition of laziness. So because of laziness, one may not do, but one may interpret Agam Atma Akarta, therefore doesn't do any work. All hypocrisy. So one should not subject oneself to laziness by not doing. In spite of doing, you are not doing. That is the truth. Because you being Atma cannot perform action. If Anatma does, let Anatma do. Let Anatma do all the time action, which is not going to affect Atma, which is always Akarta. Yes, Shankaracharya defines Nirvyapara as Udasina. Udasina is indifference, meaning that here Atma is always a Sakshi, a fitness, who never gets involved in activity. Thus, without me, no activity can take place. I am the Sakshi. In the presence of me, all the action takes place. But at the same time, I am indifferent to all the activities, meaning that I am independent of all the activities. Activities do not limit me. Therefore, I am independent of all the activities. When you say I am indifferent, there is definitely a karta is involved, an attitude of doership. But here, Atma is a pure Sakshi Chaitanyam. It doesn't perform any action. When this is your vision of yourself, Atma will be mukta, free from the bondage of samsara bandhat vimuchyate. Seeing doership in the self, Atmani Kartar Darshana is the only cause for bondage. There is no other bondage. Therefore, Karmajan, Sansaram Karmajan Vidhi, know that all these are to be born of karma, that is anatma. And Atma is never the doer. Therefore, knowing the Atma Swarupam Tattvam, one becomes free from samsara. Seeing doership in the Atma is the causal bondage. Seeing Atma as a Kartra Atma, in spite of action, the person becomes free. Therefore, only Yatva Vimokshase. If you see doership in the Atma, meaning that you take yourself to be a doer, then there will be samsara for you. If you take yourself to be a non-doer, a non-performer of karma, you are free. You are released from the bondage of samsara. This is the only difference there is between bondage and liberation, as this shloka makes it very clear. Then the next shloka, again the jnanam is raised. Let us read here. The famous quote is that Sarvam karma kilam partha jnane parisamapyate. Let us read the shloka. Shreyan dravyamayad yajnat.
Shreyan Dravyamayath Yajnat
Jnana yajnah parantapa.
Jnana Yajnah Param Tapa
Sarvam karma kilam partha
Sarvam Karma Kilam Partha
Jnane parisamaapyate.
Jnane parisamapyate.
Sarvam akilam karma. All actions finally culminate in knowledge alone. Shreyan Dravyamayat Vigyat Jnana Yajna Parantapa. A karma yajna which is performed with dravya, substances. Compared to that, Jnana Yajna is superior. Jnana Yajna superior because karma perpetuates samsara, jnana frees you from samsara. Therefore, karma which involves materials, compared to the yajna which is performed with materials, it means karma. Compared to them, jnana yajna is greater. No karma is involved. Jnanam, what karma is? No karma is involved. Therefore, jnanam makes you free from samsara. Therefore, dravyamayat yajna, yajna implies which implies the performance of the ritual with the materials. Compared to that, jnana yajna is shreyan, greater. A comparison is made. This discipline of knowledge, jnana yajna, O sculpture of force, parantapa, superior to it is superior to religious disciplines performed with materials. Dravya yajna, dravya meaning material. O Partha, all actions in its entirety, sarvam karma kilam Partha, all the actions in its entirety, they resolve in knowledge. Jnane parisamappyate. In the shloka number 24, Brahmarpanam Brahmavi, that is the shloka 24. The clear vision of Atmas, that is Brahma Darshanam, Samyak Darshanam of the nature of Atma was given the status of a yajna, jnana yajna. That is what it was explained in the form of a yajna, jnana yajna. This was done in order to present Atma as a non-doer by converting all the karakas into Brahma, which means that everything is Brahma. To unfold this knowledge, many kinds of yajnas were performed, were mentioned to unfold this knowledge, each of which can help a seeker get a purified mind so that the knowledge can take place. Because of their usefulness in gaining antakarna shuddhi, these yajnas were pointed out. However, one must avoid being carried away by the disciplines themselves because they have a limited end. They only prepare the mind for the knowledge. The ultimate end, moksha, can be gained only by knowledge, not by performance of religious disciplines. So religious disciplines are the sadhana for the sadhya. So one should not hold on to sadhana because sadhanam is a means. It is not the end. And means therefore they're limited. They're only required for purifying the mind. Whereas that cannot give you freedom. Whereas moksha is only by jnanam. Therefore, the immediate end which is achieved by these yajna sadhanam, that is antakarna shuddhi, which is a prerequisite for jnanam, and by jnanam one becomes free. Therefore, moksha can be gained only by knowledge, not by karma. Disciplines are only a means, not to an end. Yajnas are meant to discipline, but it is means only for disciplining the karya karasangata. It is not the end by itself. Therefore, the discipline itself is not an end. Any discipline is but a means for a given end, one of which is antakarna shuddhi. As a karma yogi, we are interested in antakarna shuddhi, purification of the mind. As a mumukshu, interested in the immediate end, which is purification of the mind. And another is antakarna aishchalya, which antakarna shuddhi is upasana. Antakarna shuddhi is karma yoga. Antakarna aishchalya is upasana. Antakarna shuddhi is purification of mind by karma yoga. Then Naishchalya, Nischala, Bhavaha, Antakarna Naishchalya, that is steadiness of the mind, focus of the mind, that is by Upasana. So, therefore, by karma and by Upasana, one gets the antakarna, which is pure and steady. So for the disciplines which are meant for preparing the mind, it's not the end by itself. Once we get a mind which is relatively steady and pure, with such a mind, you will surely gain Samyak Darshanam. As mentioned in the 24th shloka, everything is Brahma. That is Samyak Darshanam. Clear vision of the nature of Atma being totally free from karma. This Samyak Darshanam is praised in this shloka by contrasting with previous various karmas mentioned previously. Clear vision means a clear knowledge of the self. How do you gain this clear vision? Not by any of these disciplines. Krishna points out here. Samyak darshan is something that has to be understood, for which there is also a yajna to be performed. Jnana yajna. This yajna is being praised. This jnana yajna, which is one of the yajna mentioned, this jnana yajna, Samyak darshanam. Bhagavan addresses Arjuna as a parantapa in this shloka, meaning paran, tapati. He burns, he scorches enemies. Paran shatrun. So we have seen the word enemy can stand for kama, krodha, adi, or this parantapa. The word parantapa means enemies. Paran, kama, krodha, adi. The enemy can stand for one's kama, krodha, affliction such as one's likes, dislikes, and anger, so on, or it can, the enemy as such, it can also mean the enemies who are in the battlefield. The parantapa. Parantapa, paran. Para is paran, other. Paran shatrun. Since Arjuna was a kshatriya, a warrior, therefore the word can apply to enemies in the usual sense of the word as well. Yes, that is another usual sense. That is the usual meaning, enemies. We are told here that Jnana Yajna is Shreyaha, Shreyan, Jnana, Shreyan Drabyamayat, Yajnat Jnanamayaha. Jnana Yajna is greater, superior, meaning that it is not, meaning that it is definitely the thing to be done. Jnana Yajna is superior. It means that is the end. Wherever the word superior appears, the question always rises, compared to what? Superior to what? But there is no real comparison here. Instead, Bhagavan is pointing out what Jnana Yajna is. It is superior, it is Shreyan because it gives you moksha. Therefore, there is not the usual sense of better and best here. Here, the word Shreyan means the best. Dravya Yajna refers to a Yajna which is performed using materials, oblations, and implies the use of certain materials or objects. All rituals fall under this category because Dravya Yajnas can only give you limited results in the form of punya and certain satisfaction. Jnana Yajna is described here as being superior to them. For example, when you offer a prayer, there is an immediate satisfaction, which is Drishtapala or the seen result. That you are able to pray is an in itself, and as a result of the prayer, you will have some relative contentment. This too is Drishtapala. There will also be Adrishtapala, an unseen result in the form of Punyam. Okay, I think we'll stop here. Next one is knowledge follows the doer. See the next class. So shloka, Shreyan is comparative word. Dravyamayat Yajnat, compared to the Dravyamaya Yajna in which Dravyas are offered. Dravyas are offered. So all the Yajnas, Vedic Yajnas are the Yajnas which are mentioned before here. They are Dravya Yajna. Some here the materials are offered into the Omakunda. Here, Omakunda is not physical Omakunda. Some disciplines, it is looked upon as, because offering is there, therefore there must be place of offering. So it's a place, the locus unto which the offerings are made. So offerings could be a physical material, certain material or objects, or as mentioned in this yajnas, it could be the regulation, mastery, like niyata ahara, restriction in the food intake, or the prana offering into apana, apana offering into prana. So they're all objects. Therefore, they come under Dravya Yajna. Because Dravya Yajna, they give you only limited results. They'll give you punyam. Punyam is limited. Even though punyam is desirable, but it is also limited. So compared to those yajnas which are mentioned, Jnana Yajna is greater. Jnana Yajna is greater. Why? Because the end is not limited. So therefore, compared to other yajna, Jnana Yajna is superior. Unto Jnana Yajna, all the yajnas, all the karmas, they resolve. They resolve it. Jnane Parisamapyate. They culminate in Jnanam. The yajna has got validity only when there is kartrutva. When the person discovers ahamakarta, then there is no yajna. Who performs yajna? Who is the performer? What is the karma? What are the other karakas? So therefore, resolve in this jnanam. All the karakas, jnane parisamapyate. Karma implies karakam, the factors of action, karta, karma, karana, sampradana, apadana, adhikana. All these resolve in the knowledge of Atma. Jnane parisamapyate. Therefore, knowledge swallows the doer. Knowledge swallows everything. The big swallower. We'll stop here. We will continue tomorrow. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
Dhanyavadaha.
Dhanyavadaha.